acting and frontin'. You could take it all from me, I was happy with nothing. Got some people mad, but I feel immaculate, fuck it. If they got a problem with me, tell them bastards to suck it. I could tragically suffer up in the search to impress, but I ripped the band-aid off, it only hurt for a sec. Yeah, tomorrow gotta clean up all the mess, but at least now I'm free of all the stress. Yeah, my headspace just took a swan dive. I get it all sorted by sunrise. I'll be alright, I'll be alright. My headspace just took a swan dive. I get it all sorted by sunrise. I'll be alright, I'll be alright. I'm just trying to get to what I really want.
Even if I'm the only happy one.
I don't wanna feel like a chameleon.
Even if I'm the only happy one.
I'm just trying to get to what I really want.
Even if I'm the only happy one.
I don't wanna feel like a chameleon.
Even if I'm the only happy one.
My headspace just took a swan dive. I get it all sorted by sunrise. I'll be alright, I'll be alright. My headspace just took a swan dive. I get it all sorted by sunrise. I'll be alright, I'll be alright.
If I'm the only happy one.
I'll be alright, I'll be alright.
If I'm the only happy one.
I'll be alright, I'll be alright. My headspace just took a swan dive. I get it all sorted by sunrise. I'll be alright, I'll be alright. I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. The very first step is jumping in. I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. Getting so good, think I'm growing fins. I'll never make a splash if I'm terrified to leave the boat. Haven't swam far enough if I can still see the coast. Haven't jumped in cause I've been busy pleasing folks. Happy or a hero, it's impossible to be them both. I cannot keep hiding in the submarine. Hard to live my story if I'm focused on the summary. I've been sweating life with all this water under me. I guess it's pretty dumb of me, but I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. The very first step is jumping in. I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. Getting so good, think I'm growing fins. I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. The very first step is jumping in. I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. Getting so good, think I'm growing fins. Sunlight beaming through the chain links represents the efforts of them trying to cage me. Navy blue sweater waving in the wind when I jump in where it's way deep. I'm floating and it feels so easy to me. I thought life was like a race. If I move slow, I'm just a rookie. But I only start to sink when I kick faster than I should be. And it's crazy that it took me this long, but I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. The very first step is jumping in. I'm learning how to swim. I've been learning how to swim. Getting so good, think I'm growing fins. I'm learning how to swim. I'm learning how to swim.
What's happening? Good evening. Buenas noches. I'm trying to learn Spanish, but I'm not very good at it. I'm so afraid to use it at work as well because I'm afraid of sounding like a bumbling idiot. Every time I do it, I put on like almost a baby voice. I go, Aki. Because if I'm going to sound like a baby, you know, in terms of my pronunciation, I might as well play the part. At least that way, if I fuck up, you know, I can fall back on that. But what's going on? Armin, what's going on, man? He said, holy shit, we're back. Absolutely. We were here the other day. We were here on the 12th. And I planned on getting on the day after. Just kind of fell through a little bit. But, hey, I'm feeling great. I went to the Y today. I didn't do much. I just did the treadmill. Because I do all the calisthenics at the house. That way, if, you know, someone wants to laugh at me, it can only be fish. But we're trying our best. I set myself some goals to get back in shape because, you know, I used to be able to do a lot. And I'll be honest, trying to do some of it now, I'm like, what the fuck happened? Why'd you stop? So, I'm just going to keep working at it. So, I mean, yesterday I did 70 push-ups. All right, some of them real in terms of like, you know, actual push-ups, and then some of them towards the end I had to do knee push-ups. But good form. All right, that's all that matters. And the fact that it hurt, that also matters. And then we did squats, we did leg extensions, all that kind of stuff. So, and then just pretty much did cardio when we got to the gym. Because it's cold outside, okay? I would go find like a walking trail. There's a couple by my house I have seen that I do want to check out when it is warmer. But, oh man, you know, I used to do the whole thing in the past where like I still go out. But having to drive there and then walk, that's different. Where I used to live, I could just walk. And then I know that I can go right back into the house. But, yeah, feeling great. I just did, I figured, like, if I'm going to do something, like, slow and steady, at least I'll do it with, like, heavy intensity. So, like, when I did the treadmill, I did it with a pretty hefty incline. That way, at least I have to work for it. Johnny, what's going on, man? Probably won't be heading on to Discord tonight because I just got home. I'm tired. I just wanted to stream. That way, at least I can set up some sort of consistency with it once again. Because I'm trying to just be consistent with all things that I do now. And, yeah, just talk. In a talking mood. Let's go ahead and check out what Bitcoin's done. We're at 95.6, so it does actually seem like we actually did what I wanted. Yes. Okay. All right. So I did get pushed out of my stop. All right. That's part of the reason why I'm here. But I actually wanted this because I did have a little bit of a crappy entry on this ABC setup. So let me go ahead and get the other BTC chart so I don't have all this stuff clouding it up. But this is the original setup. So we had A to B to C. We put in that slightly higher high, and then we started to come back down. I was afraid of it being a one and done, so I entered around like 92. So therefore, my stop loss had to be, you know, a little bit higher. So I was giving up risk to reward potential. But we've taken profit on the macro short. So right now, I have nothing on the board. I don't have a long position. I don't have a short position. But now that we have this little bit of an extension, if we do happen to come back down, I can enter that short position at a much better price. So probably, I mean, if we dip down low enough during the live stream, I'll just go ahead and do it. But I'm just going to set up a conditional before I go to bed tonight. SPY still going up. Now the SPY does have an ABC top here. The market is quite thin as well. So there's a good possibility the market, I mean, like I said, Bitcoin, I'm still bearish on it. Depending on how the next couple of weeks go, we could enter a consolidation period and stay above one of our major macro supports. But my intuition is just telling me we're going to break right through it. and then we're going to go into consolidation. But who knows? I could be wrong. But the SPY has that ABC top. So if we get back down below, let's see, $687, $688 if you want to round up. That's probably when we'll be seeing us come back down and retesting. More than likely this local low here at about 650. If we fail to find support at 650, I mean, there's not much else. There's here at 630 and there's here at 614. But if we're going to go back down to 614, then we're more likely going to test 606. And Ethereum has the ABC in a weird spot. It's definitely the thinner of the structures, because obviously we would want A to B and then to C, which could still be the case. Maybe we have a little bit more headroom to the upside. But then within this C wave, we do have A to B to C as well, which that one is actually currently active. But depending on how BTC goes, this might actually be what follows through and causes the downside price action. DXY looks like it wants to go back up and retest its local high here. So that could be a good sign for the shorts. You know, the whole inverse thing. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with it. Like I said, the main thing for me was Bitcoin and whether or not I could get my short position back in a better spot. Whether or not we're going to go to the upside or to the downside. I made my profit. And, of course, that profit doesn't go anywhere but to debt. But, yeah, it's the point that I'm taking the trade, not getting out of practice. Which, I mean, I'll be fair. Quite a bit of distractions nowadays with work and everything else. So, me missing a trade here or there, even by a little bit, does kind of hurt. Because I'm used to being on top of it. But, no, I mean, everything else, I'm just feeling so great. I feel like I finally got the wind behind my sail to go ahead and get back into shape. You know, got a good social life going on right now. And then at work, I mean, obviously I'm a hard worker. I know I am. But they're already putting me in what's called key holder, which then after key holder, you get pretty much to be a manager. So, talking to me about, you know, salary contract and, you know, what, how they're going to try to lowball me, but they're more than willing to go up to this number and all that kind of stuff. So, if I keep working at it, I'll be back to where I was pretty shortly, you know, in the grand scheme of things, the way things have been going. And then after that, we can get back fully into trading once I kind of build that back up. So yeah, I feel good. There's a couple of things that have me a little bit irked. I got some stuff going on in the background, but I don't sweat the small stuff, you know. And the way I see it is everything is small stuff. Tricio, hola, amigo. Enzo, he said, nice to see you streaming again. Appreciate you being here. He said, yeah, you still pretty dialed in charting. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I've switched up my strategy to such a simplistic view of the market that, yeah, I mean, I can sit here and chart for forever, but it really only takes me a couple seconds of looking at something to figure out what I would like to do based on how the market's moving. Now, whether or not it's going to work out in my favor, that's a different story, but that's trading. It's about, you know, listening to the market and then putting some risk on the board. Nothing too much, nothing too little. And if it works, good. You make some really good money. If it doesn't work, well, you lose a little tiny bit. That's the whole thing. Thoughts on Litecoin? So, I mean, Litecoin is ahead of the curve. Okay. I think people still kind of hold on hope with Litecoin. I mean, not with Litecoin, but with like Bitcoin and Ethereum because of the big dogs. So you said, but Litecoin, people are much more willing to get rid of it if they see trouble coming up ahead. And I think the smart people that do kind of trade across the market and are involved in multiple different things, I think they can tell that we are going to be heading down. So they're trying to dump some of their alts that they aren't too confident on. And I mean, I'll be honest, Litecoin didn't perform as nearly as good as many people wanted it to. So for them to lose confidence this early on the downturn makes sense to me. Now, of course, does this open up a long hedge opportunity? Absolutely. Because if we get back above, let's see, 72.88, well then, that's a long hedge. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about this wick. I don't know really what happened with that. I didn't really look across multiple exchanges on whether or not that it was a true wick, and this is really the actual volume that we saw. To me, when I see something that extravagant, I kind of write it off. To me, it's almost like it doesn't exist. I look at the Hakanishi candle, where was the average on that, and then it kind of makes more sense in my brain what the true price was. So all in all, you know, it seems like Litecoin is heading back down to retest $63. And then from there, we would create a macro ABC long position. So if we did want to have any sort of retest, that's probably where it would be from. Now, of course, if we fall through 63 and we stay below it, well, our next support is going to be down here at 49.40. All right, so whichever way it goes, and then obviously, if we want to go even further out, I mean, we can always do that. I'm always scared about going further in, because then people get wrapped up in the smaller time frames and then they kind of lose their mind. But if we want to back out, I have no problem with that. If we look at this from a macro perspective, we have downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, and we are currently within the downtrend, or at least I would assume. All right, so if that's the case, well, then the macro retest would be $40.17. And that would give us a gigantic macro ABC long position, where if we found support there, we would probably get a pretty decent entry on a long-term macro long. All right, I'm talking long-term. Okay. I mean, that's what I see. Short-term, do we have the possibility to come back up and retest? Of course. But overall, I do think it's just a lack of confidence in an altcoin that a lot of people are probably expecting a lot more on. And then the writing is kind of on the wall, at least for me, for Ethereum and Bitcoin, that it is simply just a retest of local highs, confirming resistance, and then continuing whatever downtrend we're currently in. Now, whether or not we want to double bottom and we find support and then we consolidate, that's a different thing. We'll see. It's kind of becoming a pretty big diagonal support. Yeah, I mean, I can see the diagonal. I try not to work with diagonals anymore because I don't feel like they're as firm. And you can always, and that was the problem too, is you can always slightly bend the line to kind of fit what your narrative is going to be. And that's what I was worried about, potentially, like with my brain. It has nothing against that. You know, I used to use Gonfans, for Christ's sakes. But I just noticed that, like, you could always kind of finagle your way into making it so that you believe one thing because you can adjust how the picture looks. With horizontals, there's no getting around it. The price was this at this high. The price was that at that low. So when you draw that horizontal, it's true. All right, now the ABCs, that's just marking out trends. All right, it has nothing to do with supports and resistances. It's simply just marking high to low, low to high. And then from there, you can kind of build a clear picture of what kind of structure you're in. You said, wow, interesting hour for you to be online. I don't know what time it is for you. For me, it's almost 10 o'clock. I got off of work today. I had lots of energy. I went to the gym, did my calisthenics at home. Came home. I put the slip cover on my couch because I was cleaning the couch. Vacuumed up a little bit. Said, hey, I got some more time before I'm, smack tired. And I feel it coming. I feel it coming on. I know my eyes are getting a little bit droopy, all that good stuff. But no, I just wanted to jump on. That way I'm at least trying my best to be here whether or not it's a consistent time, at least every other day or so. Just checking in, especially when there's something big happening. And I do believe that this current structure on BTC is something big and to be aware of, because, hey, I took profit on my trade because of it. And I've been holding that trade for months. So. Chat, yeah, it's late. I mean, definition-wise, I guess. I don't know. I've been staying up pretty late nowadays. Sacrificing a lot of sleep. But I believe it to be worth it. I've been having a lot of fun. What was your position on BTC? We were short from the recent all-time high ABC up here. I mean, it probably wasn't the exact. It was probably, I probably entered a little bit late, but I want to say like 124 was my entry, somewhere around there. And I held it all the way down until here, until we put in this higher high right here. Because once we formed the ABC, I set up a stop loss. So I took profit here at 95. So it was a good bit of profit. I mean, the margin wasn't anything crazy because, like, once again, I'm kind of in a weird position right now in my life. But hey, it's, to me, I've always looked at percentages, and we made a pretty decent size percentage on that. And then now the hope will be that this ABC folds back over, we enter another short position and ride the continuation down, and then at 80,000 or 81,000, I'll be entering a long hedge position, which, there's definitely the potential that we continue back down to 74,000, mid 74,000s, before we actually pop back up. But this is going to be my next hedge position. So we have the ABC short, which is what I'm currently waiting on, and that's going to be an entry of about 94,880, give or take, depending on how close you're looking at the chart. I'm just hovering my cursor here. And then this is going to be the next position here at about 80,800 to, 80,500. I'll find out the exact level, as we get a little bit closer to that. Yes, so I am still with BuyDeFi. That's where I do all my trades. Not any issues with them. I'm always in contact on Telegram with kind of my brand ambassador, just letting me know what kind of promos they got going on and stuff like that, which I never really cared about that. I'm not trying to sucker people into a website. If you need a place to trade, that's where I do it. Really appreciate it if you use the link. That's always good. Does help me out, but no need. I know Coinbase has been more and more pushing derivatives. I'm gonna check that out, but obviously you're a lot more susceptible to getting taxed. But hey, it would make it easier for your taxes. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what the stipulations are, what kind of leverage they allow, all that good stuff, and see if it's worthwhile for people to move their money into, if they're able to. My DCA bot opened a position at 124 and kept buying. I was just able to close it now after 60 days. Damn. Yeah, that sucks. I'm very sorry. Well, I mean, open a position and kept buying. All right, was it a... I imagine that's a bad thing. Or are you buying shorts or are you buying longs? All right, if you're buying longs or just on spot, then yeah, that does kind of suck. Why doesn't Trump bring all global exchanges back? There's so much. It's not just Trump. There's the whole. There's so many guidelines set up. So in my eyes, if I'm running the government, and for whatever reason I want to ban global exchanges, why would I do that? I would do that because of the statistics. When you get down to brass tacks and you look at the math, the majority of people are animals. All they know how to do is lose. Now, of course, at the end of the day, once we become better traders, we understand that losses are essential. That if you're not taking losses, you're not making wins. So why try at all? But there is a different type of loss. There's the rage loss where, like, you know, you lose 500 and now you're betting higher margin because you want to make your 500 back faster, and then you end up losing that margin, and then you do it again and again and again and again and again and again. It's an endless trap. So if that is the majority of traders and they're doing that, well, you don't want that money that they're losing to go to another country. All right? That's the government's job to send money to other countries, not yours. So, you know, they kind of put the restrictions on it so that that doesn't happen. Now, there's kind of like this weird gray area where if you pay your taxes and you're a successful trader, they're really not going to ask questions. Like, you might pay more in taxes because of it, because you can't necessarily, you know, verify these numbers, but to a certain extent, you're good. That's the gray area I've lived in all my life. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't the fact that I wasn't reporting I didn't report my taxes on time, but like I just kind of let them sit there because I just figured, hey, like I'm going to be making enough money to the point where like I could always just pay it later. And unfortunately, like I just didn't think about the math, and the interest just kept growing. And then we are where we are. Now I've got it under control now, and I would like to think that I'll have it under control for the rest of my life. But it is a mistake that I made. And a part of me doesn't regret it, because although it does really suck, it allowed me to strip away a lot of the things that I really didn't need. You know, it was getting to the point where it was almost gluttonous. And I didn't like the person I was becoming. And it distanced me in relationships. So part of me is appreciative of the dumbass that I was. But I have to work very hard now to make sure that we can get back to where we were. In some fashion. I'm going to live my life a lot differently. But I do like FU money. I like the money where I can do what I want and say what I want. That's all I care about. You know, fancy cars, houses, trips, loans, all that kind of stuff. I can live without that. Yeah. I got some food after I went to the gym, which I probably shouldn't have. I'm trying to stick to the intermittent fasting. Tomorrow, I am 100% back on track, no matter what happens. I don't care if I'm at a social event or whatever. You know, if I can plan around it and I can like starve off my eating window, and that way at least I'm like making up for it, that's one thing. But like otherwise, like if I don't have any plans with anybody, like I'm doing what I'm gonna do. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best to like navigate through all this new stuff going on. Today was a little bit of a fuck up. I kind of made the girl I'm talking to a little bit mad, which I didn't mean to. I'm just a guy. So, you know, you don't know what you say, and then it's taken one way. But hey, I'll let it cool off. We'll see what happens. I overreacted a little bit as well, so I'm just, you know, it's nobody's fault. That's just how life goes. But yeah, I'll just continue on. Got work at 5 tomorrow, so I got a little bit more time to work with. I've had morning shifts most this week, so I really hate those. They're so slow. There's nothing to do. You just sit around chatting to people, and I'm like, I just want to work. Because when I'm at work, if I work hard, well, then time goes by faster. That's how I always think about it. So when it's slow, oh my God. Just the clock's ticking, and it's just not moving. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking into right now is the offer and compromise. Trying to get it to a point where it's at least, doable. Because right now the way that things currently are, it does seem like almost impossible to just like get everything back in check and back to zero. But if I get the position at my job and I start making like 70, 80 grand a year, I can have that paid off in no time. The way that I live my life now.
Who is I to think that I could fix you, baby? Who would I be if I didn't miss you, baby? I hope that you know you were appreciated. Around my house, I still got up all of our pictures, baby.
Probably put on Air Wing Marine before copyright strikes the.
First days to come see you in between tour. I gave you everything I had.
And if anybody's having like a laggy stream or anything like that, let me know. Because I am streaming with a very high bit rate, so sometimes that does screw with other people's connections. So if I need to lower the bit rate for next stream, if you've been getting a lot of buffering or whatever, let me know, and I'll fix that next time. But not gonna be on here too much longer. I just wanted to stop in and say hi, let you know that I am gonna be trying my best to be here as much as possible, within reason. All right, I got a lot going on. And the time that I do have off of work, I do want to spend with other people. So sometimes that does mean sacrificing the things that we used to do. Do you like the short entry on Sue? Oh, we haven't taken a look at this coin in quite a bit of time. Coin-based derivatives. That's not a whole lot of information here. Yeah. I mean, it's there. Most definitely there. We have A to B to C on the daily chart. I do think that is, I mean, especially with Bitcoin being in the same position, this is an altcoin. So if it does start collapsing, it's going to collapse even harder than Bitcoin. And I mean, from the entry here, you have back down to like the next local low, you have almost 30%. I mean, that's really good. And I mean, who's to say that it won't go much further? Ryan, you said, been listening while driving on the highway. Sounds like it's been an interesting week. It has. Lots of ups and downs. I try not to talk about it too much on live stream just because like that's personal business, but obviously the live stream has always been personal business. But David Moore, what's up, Kite? How you doing, David? What's going on, man? Yeah, the short trade on Sue, that looks good. I do like that. You know, we're kind of hitting this. Well, I mean, technically, there's a macro long here as well. Like, this is a really weird place. Now, I don't know. I'd probably go with more medium time frame down here. But I mean, if you look at the macro here, technically we're in a long position as well from the macro perspective. So if we hold support here, but this could be a bull trap. That would be my best guess, actually. Sky Knight, what's going on, man? You're never late, man. Even if you watch it afterwards or whatever, you're good, man. I'm not gonna kill you. And you said you get a new camera / light setup. No, just kind of utilizing what I used to have. So I mean, obviously we used to have the fancy camera that had like the nice bokeh and all that kind of stuff. But you know, I sold that because once again I didn't stream as much, and to have like a $5,000 camera just sitting there, you know, I would always look at it and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, man? You know, I would like to have a nicer camera once again. you know, in the future when I can afford to do so. But I probably won't go that crazy with it. You know, maybe something around like $600 I feel like would be good with a nice lens on it. The only issue though is with those you know, low aperture lenses, you do need a lot of power if you're going to use autofocus. Cuz I'm always moving around. But no, I have an Elgato key light. I have two of them. I got one that I let my sister use for her live streams, because she streams like Pokemon and stuff on Whatnot. She used to do it religiously, where, you know, she would do the whole openings and everything like that. And you know, my sister, you know, she's got her following of dudes that you know, send her all the gifts and everything. So she does her thing. All YouTubers keep saying 100, 102K just feels like a trap. I mean, it's possible. That's not like outlandish. You know, if we do break above this, you know, 107,000, 108,000, that's our next local high. We could definitely go back up and retest that. It's you know, not out of the ordinary. But we are currently in the ABC position. If we do happen to come back down below that local high of our A, well then spells a different story. Lighting is everything. It's so weird that, like, when you talk about like video work, it's all about lighting. And then when you talk about sound work, it's all about sound treatment, like the room that it's in. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, everybody's always focused on like the nice microphones, you know, the Neumanns and the Schurs and the Rhodes. They're always like trying to like buy the fancy microphones. And of course, there is differences like dynamic, condenser, you know, supercardioid, you know, omnidirectional. Like there's those differences, but at the end of the day, like when it comes to like actual sound quality, it's the room treatment is going to make more of a difference than the actual microphone itself, because you can always post-process your microphone to make it sound much, much better than it actually is. You know, I wouldn't say this is the greatest one in the world. I've had better, but it gets the job done, and it's much cheaper than a, you know, $1,500 KU5A. Yep, I do think I'm gonna be heading off here pretty shortly. So what's up, Kite? Long BTC from 84. Very nice job. I would assume it would be related to this ABC here on our B, or at least I would hope so. You know, maybe you just kind of took a shot in the dark. But you know, my recommendation, which obviously not financial advice here, but you know, might be time for a hedge coming up here shortly. That's what I'm going to be doing. My next long position is definitely going to be here at 80,000. If we can find the exact number here. Always so difficult to do. That's going to be 80,750. That is going to be where my next long position is going to be from. Yeah, I'm starting to crash hard just from all the walking that I did today. But all right, guys. Thank you for showing up once again. I'm glad to be back. Very nice to see everybody. Obviously, all the familiar names. And I do plan on stopping in every single, you know, not every single day, but every other day. And I know I've said this many times before, but I do think things are a lot different now. And obviously, we got a couple things to talk about as the price action moves here throughout the next couple of days. So expect me. I can't always promise you a time, but I'll be here. So when you see me, or whether or not it's after, I appreciate you. And let's go ahead and get out of here. I hope everybody has a good night, a good morning, depending on where you're at. You know, some of you guys might be West Coast. You might have a couple more hours. I think I'm going to go ahead and lay down on the couch. I have a couple episodes of Fallout that I need to catch up on because I've been so goddamn busy that I can't even watch the shows that I really like. But yeah, let's do the thing and let's head on out. And I'll see you guys as soon as I can. I promise. All right. So let's go ahead and enlarge. Oh, my bad. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Find my way around here. There we go. Bye.
Lately I've been stressed out, I'ma be alright though. Move a mile a minute, cause any day I might go. Can't take the cash when the coffin hit the ground, so I'm blowing all this money like I'm trying to cool it down. I ain't never had shit but a dream, and the mama telling me I can be anything that I wanna. I don't watch television, got enough bad news. If you back me in a corner, I do what I have to. If you see me doing well, it's because I went and got it. Making something out of nothing, turning problems into profit, man. Impossible is nothing if you treat it like it ain't. That's why I treat it like it ain't. I don't know, it's just the way I am. My eyes bleeding red until the AM. Hallelujah, I still moving when the day end. All my demons chasing me, I got to slay them. I don't have the time to be patient. I got a lot up on my mind, trying to see the silver lining, but I don't have the time to be patient. I got a lot up on my mind, trying to see the silver lining, but I don't have the time to be patient. They tell me to relax every time I tell them no. They confused cause I'm heating up, but still I'm hella cold. It ain't coincidental that my dentals never show. I ain't got a lot to smile about until I get the gold. See, my standards so high, but I'm sitting so low. Forget how they used to treat you, that's a big no-no. Watch the body count climb when we kill them with success. I need everything and nothing less. I don't know, it's just the way I am. My eyes bleeding red until the AM. Hallelujah, I still moving when the day end. All my demons chasing me, I gotta slay them. I don't have the time to be patient. I got a lot up on my mind, trying to see the silver lining, but I don't have the time to be patient. I got a lot up on my mind, trying to see the silver lining, but I don't have the time to be patient. One last thing, I like singing sad songs. That's how I deal with depression, so don't clown me like that's wrong. I'm not less of a person, cause I talk about my feels. If I never ever did, how the fuck could I be real? It's that motivation music, yeah, I wrote it for myself. Cause when I start feeling low, no one can save me but myself. This for me, this for me. I know who I am inside. Still I'm working like I'm never satisfied. I don't know, it's just the way I am. My eyes bleeding red until the AM. Hallelujah, I still moving when the day end. All my demons chasing me, I got to slay them. I don't have the time to be patient. I got a lot up on my mind, trying to see the silver lining, but I don't have the time to be patient. I got a lot up on my mind, trying to see the silver lining, but I don't have the time to be patient. Everything I love been flying away. I just kinda feel like dying